For you, less than a week after his guilty verdict, Bardstown's Steve Lawson is now asking for a brand new trial. His attorney, who joined the case last August, is saying he never had enough time to prepare and get ready, and that people in the courtroom last week during the trial violated the judge's dress code warning and wore pink.
The motion filed by Lawson's attorney, Darren Wolf, cites failures of jury instruction, errors involving DNA testing, multiple court order violations, and a lack of adequate prep time for Lawson and his team, along with other grievances as grounds for a new trial.
WHS 11's legal analyst is back with us. He's been with us for the Crystal Rogers trial, attorney Nick Mudd of the Mudd Law Group. Nick, let's real quick look on the screen here. This is the part of the dress code they wrote in this order. It says, in the motion, Lawson's attorney said they'd, quote, inform the court that a plethora of people in the gallery were wearing pink. Ordinarily, this would likely be deemed inconsequential and coincidental. However, incident to Crystal Rogers' disappearance, a movement formed called Team Crystal, wearing the color pink, is emblematic of the movement. Is this enough for a new trial?
He's not wrong, but I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch, okay? And, you know, he's got a job to do. He's doing his job. He's preserving the record for appeal is what he's doing. And certainly, you know, the judge did issue an order. You know, and if you follow it to the T, that's a violation of that order. But I think to say that's going to warrant a new trial, that's quite the stretch.
Well, but he was very strict on everything else, you know, including no cameras in the courtroom. You know, he didn't want it to be a circus. So, you know, I mean, he may have a little bit of a case for saying, well, he went, you know, by the book on everything else, but not on this. It's
something, but I wouldn't bet, you know, I wouldn't bet the house on it. It's an issue that I do not ever, in my experience, ever seen a trial get reversed because of what people were in a courtroom.
You know this attorney really well, Darren Wolf. You said he's famous for throwing things at the wall to see if it sticks. What is the best argument he does have? You've read the order and his arguments. What sticks out to you?
Well, as a defense lawyer, that's a lot of times what you have to do. You throw as many darts as you can, and you hope one hits the bullseye and registers with the jury. Obviously, it didn't happen here, but one of the big concerns I've seen, and he addresses it very well in the motion, are the jury instructions. Now, in Kentucky, attorneys usually use what's called Cooper's jury instructions. The judge didn't really follow that in this case. Cooper's is kind of a book that we all abide by, and it gives what's called model instructions. Judge kind of did his own thing here, and I think Darren may have a hook there, potentially with the Court of Appeals eventually, with this case because of the jury instructions.
The other thing that sticks out is not having enough time to prepare. It seems like that might be a reason for
400,000 documents?
And he said hundreds,
pages,
or what did he say,
pages?
if not thousands of audio. I mean, if I ever went into a case that's a felony level case, any case, I don't care if it's a traffic case, and I haven't looked at everything, I mean, I'm scared. I'm not being effective.
So to boil it down, you know the judge well, you know everybody in this case. Does he get a new trial?
Well, the judge is the one making the decision of whether he gets a new trial, and the errors that he's accusing the judge of making here, you know, the judge will be basically second-guessing himself.
Right.
I don't think we're getting a new trial here, but certainly he's preserving the case for appeal later when he complains to the Court of Appeals.
All right. Thank you, Nick. Of course, Nick will be with us for the next trial starting June 24th. That's Joseph Lawson and Brooks Houck. We appreciate it, Nick. Good to see you again.